When the show time is go time, my time is your time, and I appreciate you for it. Welcome back, y'all, to Triple Threat. I'm Jordan, and I'm here with
Al.
And welcome back to the show. So, Al, I got a quick question for you. Celtics, we saw what they did. They brought home the championship, right? Do you think they're going to bring it home again this year?
No, I don't. I think a healthy Milwaukee Bucks beats them.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. A healthy Milwaukee Bucks. So that is Dame. You got Dame carrying them.
No, I got them carrying Dame across the finish line.
Right? Okay. I think the Celtics will repeat, though. Because we got Jaylen Brown coming up as MVP, right, of the championship, right? And people didn't feel he deserved it. So he's here to prove something. He had a chip on his shoulder. They thought Jason Tatum deserved it. And rightfully so. Jason Tatum put on a clinic, too. And it did look like all of their plays was run through him. Their offense was run through Jason Tatum, and Jaylen was more of a role player, but low-key, he was silently deadly.
Yeah.
Without him, they would not have gotten there. And so I think they will repeat because they didn't make too many changes at all. And they're healthy. They don't face injuries. They even got rid of their injury-prone guy when they got rid of Marcus Smart. So
yeah.
I think they'll repeat, though.
But if Jason has any incentive, I think it would be being left off that Olympic team.
Yeah.
Because how do you have the MVP of the NBA Finals not on the Olympic team?
Not starting?
Not playing.
Right.
You got 3 of his lessers on the Olympic team. I'm like, he was the NBA of the Finals. Mm-hmm. He should at least got some consideration. I don't know what happened there. I ain't heard no rumors. But I think it might have had something to do with the Nike thing. He's not a real big fan of Nike. They had a little dust up a while back. But other than that, there's no way Jaylen Brown's not on that Olympic team.
Yeah, true. He was passed up for Tatum, who didn't even play for real in the Olympics. So, yeah, I think it was a big-time oversight.
Drew and Derek White.
Yeah, true.
I mean, no disrespect to them. They were great in the finals. Mm-hmm. But Jaylen was the MVP.
Yeah, he was.
So for you to not have the MVP of the NBA Finals on the Olympic team, I think that begs to question something there. I really do.
Yeah.
Hey, and by the way, Jaylen Brown just dropped a song called Just Do It. Go check it out.
Okay, controversial take. He just dropped a song. You just said he might have had a little scuffle with Nike. And so here he is dropping a song called Just Do It.
Shots fired.
Right.
I'm down to hear that.
Might be. But you know what? That could break the culture in their locker room, though. And I'm just speculating too controversially because Jason Tatum didn't play for real in the Olympics. So I know that hurt his pride. Even though he still came home with gold, he didn't exactly earn that gold with the team. And then with Jaylen Brown not being invited, then he's off all season. It's like maybe mentally, I think the locker room may be a little rocky at first. But I still think they're going to repeat because there's nothing in the East stopping them.
Well, I don't think that's going to cause a friction in their locker room. If anything, I think it'll make them band together more.
Hopefully.
Because of Jaylen's snub. They may know why it happened too. And then by Tatum not playing the way he did, he has something to prove again too. So that would be, pretty good as far as motivating them through the regular season to try to repeat. Because a lot of guys just, once they get that ring, it's like they just go through a phase. And the hardest thing, and that's why you don't see a lot of repeat champions in all the sports. They too busy celebrating. And then teams are coming at you hard because you're the champ. Mm-hmm. So you got to be ready for that as well. And I kind of hope they are because I do like their team. I like what they did last year. Mm-hmm. But I just think Milwaukee's size and given their health, if they all show up for work, they're going to be a tough out.
Mm. Who do you think is trouble for them more so in the East, though? You say Milwaukee might be, but I don't think so.
If there's some competition, it's Milwaukee. Philly's still a big question mark to me.
But
I like the moves they did
space.
in the offseason. They did improve their roster. But I think Joel Embiid is kind of suspect to me. You talk about lack of work ethic. I think he's the poster child for it.
I agree with you right there. But they're still predicted to be number 1 seed. We did predictions a few weeks back, and they were top. Them, the Pacers, and the Magic.
But that's why you play the games.
Yeah.
Everybody got a prediction.
I still think Philly gonna be a tough one for the Bucks. I don't think there'll be a tough one for the Celtics or how they play, but I really don't think the Bucks are going to work that hard. Unless Giannis decides he wants to take over and drop 50 for no reason every time you feel like it, I don't think they're going to go as far.
Well, but that's when I'm counting on him being motivated with that injury to prove that he's still a champion. He may be that motivated to say, hey, yeah, Boston, I'm happy for you, but...
What else he got to prove, though? He got the ring. He's MVP. He got his brothers in the league. Like, what else does he have to prove? That's Damian that got something to prove. It's really not him. I'm not saying he's not going to work hard in his work ethic, but I just don't see them as being contenders against the Celtics. Like, they're not going to run into a brick wall with them. And by the time they get to the playoffs, they definitely going to have them figured out. And with that being said, who do you think is going to be their biggest opposition when they do come out the East?
I would like to say the Denver Nuggets.
The Denver Nuggets.
Well, I think they should. Well, I think that they should be motivated to prove that they weren't one-hit wonders. You know.
And what do they have that's going to carry them there besides Jokic?
I think their roster looks pretty good.
For the finals.
Well, they did do one thing I wasn't particularly thrilled about. That was picking up Westbrook.
Over the hill, though.
That's my point.
Over the hill. So I don't know about all that.
Over the hill, not a good teammate. It's just everything was wrong with that move to me. But maybe a chance at a ring might change him and realize that you don't have to be the star here. Just come in and help wherever you can. But their starting five, to me, was extremely solid. They played extremely well as a team. You know, I don't know how they lost last year in the playoffs because the teams they lost to were like Minnesota. I'm not an Ant fan. I'm just not.
I mean, how could you think they're going to be competition enough to make it when they have the Mavericks, but Kyrie, Luka, and now Clay?
Nah, one-legged Clay ain't going nowhere. Luka's the white black hole. And Kyrie is not effective without the ball in his hand. That's a very bad mix.
No, but Clay don't have to work that hard, right? Because he has Kyrie, because he has Luka. Luka's going to do the heavy lifting. He's going to drop almost 30 a game. And then Kyrie has a bag. So he definitely can take it there. I still think they're coming up out of there. Just like they did last year.
Okay.
Out of that. So, yeah.
Point taken.
Absolutely. So I want to see Celtics and Mavs repeat. It would actually be sweet for Clay to get a ring outside the Warriors, kind of like rooting for him in that regard, just because of what he had to overcome to get back. With that being said, Lakers in season tournament. You want to see a repeat there? Yes, no?
I almost don't really care who wins an in-season tournament. I mean, I appreciate what they're trying to do with that, but in my humble opinion, the regular season is an 82-game in-season tournament. You're playing for playoff position, trying to make sure you're not in the playoff game, play-in game for the playoffs, and you're playing for a seed. You want to be one if possible, because last time I checked, a one seed almost never loses in the first round, and usually more often than not ends in the finals. So if that's not motivation enough for you, a regular season playing game is like, God, I don't even know how bad a way I could describe that.
So, Al, you're not with it at all? No.
Not even interested. Wake me up after the All-Star game is played.
Right, because that's when things pick up. But I feel like that's what the in-season tournament does for us. It's like a mini All-Star game. I think it draws in a different audience, too. You know, they hyped it up. It looks like street ball sometimes with the different courts, and you know, then these guys are playing for an extra amount of money. So and people like LeBron, who may not care that much about the money, understood that, you know, the bottom of the bench needed that, the people on rookie contracts and stuff. So he told them he would win it for them, help them win it. So it did. I think it drew in a younger audience. I don't think the NBA is necessarily drawing in as younger audience as they had wanted to for a long time. So I think that's what it's really about. I like it. Kind of gave us a little hype. And then finding out because they won the in-season tournament, they actually placed here. And it's okay. So even though they've been trashed all year, they still somehow get a play-in spot or whatever. So I think it's cool. Something else to talk about before the All-Star game. The All-Star game sometimes tends to be that mile marker, that goal. After we know they get serious. And it's that means that in the first half, it's boring. We don't watch all the games. We don't tune in unless it's headliners or TNT won. So I think the in-season tournament also brought together teams that never face each other. The Lakers and the Pistons never face each other in the playoffs, right? They never make it together. But in the in-season tournament, they did. So I think that drew in a better, bigger audience. So I'm looking forward to it, but not because it was lit like the All-Star game. It's just because it gave us a different perspective about ball.
But I think that if they really wanted to do something, make the All-Star game into a real game again.
Fact.
It's that stuff they're doing now is it's what they're doing with the All-Star game is almost as bad as the playing tournament itself.
You don't like them 160-point games?
Yeah, if they were playing defense.
Right.
If they were actually trying to compete against the other team that was on the court.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a disservice to the fans who really want to see you guys play. Why get hurt in a clown show? Mm-hmm. You're risking injury for a clown show. Really make this game competitive and, fancy money incentives. I know the money wouldn't be a factor. And I don't want them to do like baseball did and make it whoever conference win gets home court advantage, because that takes away the regular season incentive for the teams. That was a disservice for baseball, and it would be even worse in basketball. The regular season matters, and it should matter. Playing game, the playing tournament, in-season tournament, if it works for the league, if it draws in more fans, I'm cool with it. Mm-hmm. But I also strongly believe that the regular season is the tournament right there. That's what matters.
Right. I feel you. So if you had to guess, Lakers, yes, no, who would you like to see in that little spot?
Well, I would like to believe that OKC is not a fluke. I like what they did last season because, I just looked up one day and they were number one seed in the West. Right. Which being a number one seed is hard in and of itself. Right. But you're a number one seed in the number one conference. Mm-hmm. That was impressive to me. Mm-hmm. And no disrespect to them, but the roster was kind of light. And they still played to number one seed level, which I commend them for that. Mm-hmm. But now, let me see you do that again. And I'm really impressed.
So you want OKC to take it all in the in-season tournament?
Well, I would like them to be able to finish the season they had last year, even if it's in the in-season tournament, but I would like them to carry it all the way through and be the number one seed in the West. But I kind of doubt it. I'm still pulling for Denver.
Okay. So you said OKC can take it. I think the Lakers will repeat, just simply off of LeBron. Simply off because he'll want to. His son need what, $500,000? The winner takes $500,000. So $500,000, he'll give it to his son.
Maybe he could dig in his pocket and give it to him.
Hey, why not make him work for it? Put up 3 points for $500,000. That would be great. So I think Lakers will repeat just off the strength because LeBron might want to, just to get Bronny some accolades too as a rookie, right? First rookie to get, well, probably not the first because it was rookies last year, but following in his father's footsteps with accolades. So I think the Lakers will take it just off strength, but I could see you with OKC. But OKC did lose Giddey. We took him. Chicago took Giddey. So, I think that'll not be as much help because Giddey can score. So, I don't see it for OKC, but we'll see.
Okay.
And then we'll segue, still talking about the Lakers. Actually, they hired a new coach, right? JJ Reddick. So what do you think, Al, about that acquisition?
Not much. I'm not really thrilled about the choice. I know it was a tough coaching search. They tried to get the guy from UConn, which I thought may have been a good choice, but I also understand why he stayed at UConn. But JJ Reddick, I'm not impressed with. I just hope that, they have a decent year, but the West is going to be too hard. He don't have a team, and he don't have the experience, so I don't expect a lot out of the Lakers this year.
Jeez, that's some tough words. He doesn't have the team. He doesn't have the experience. You don't think playing is experience? I think that he can draw up good plays. He knows the superstar, right? He played in the league at the same time as LeBron, AD, right? I think that he's equipped to take them. I mean, what was that guy in the Cavaliers? David, whatever his name was. They fired him, but his name was David somebody. He took them to the playoffs and he was trash. Lou, I'm not saying Lou was trash. He was a new coach, so Lou took them all the way to the finals and won on a comeback. So I think JJ Reddick has the same odds as any first-year former player coach, especially if you're coaching LeBron James. So I actually have high hopes for him. I think it's just like Steve Kerr coming into the Splash Brothers. All you have to do as a former player, draw up those plays work, and learn your players. I think JJ Reddick's IQ is high, and I think LeBron will be easy because of course he coaches on the floor while he's playing. So I think JJ Reddick just at the smooth transition of having stars and kind of over the hill players already, vets if you will. I think he'll have a smoother transition. He'll be all right.
He just ain't good, and he ain't gonna be good. He don't got a good team. It's just gonna be more difficult. He gonna be turn that back on.
It's rolling.
I never turned it off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, it's going to be extremely difficult for him. He's going to have to coach LeBron, which never listened to a coach since he's been in the league. So now you're going to have to coach the other 11 guys. They're going to lose respect for you because you ain't coaching LeBron. The team is not that good. They didn't add any other players. And you got to try to win games on a consistent basis against the Western Division. Ain't happening.
Jeez. I mean, you don't think JJ Reddick's a good guy, like a team player at that? Like you saying he's going to lose the locker room.
He's not suiting up, though. He's a good guy. He's a good player. And no offense, but I did like the interview he did. He had a little edge on him, which I kind of respected. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's all based on what those guys do on the floor.
And JJ Reddick got something to prove, right? Just like Tyronn Lue had something to prove. Tyronn Lue had something to prove ever since AI stepped over him. That's probably what he thought about when he was coaching the Cavs. So, I mean, JJ Reddick got something to prove too. So
yeah,
I think
his future's on the line right now.
Exactly.
But
so he had to make it here too. Like he's been retired for some time. So I mean, he had to make it to these interviews and through that process. His daddy, ain't nobody. So it ain't like he had daddy to help him. So he had to prove himself, and I think he hungry enough that we gonna see the Lakers repeat in the in-season tournament, and we just might see them make a little playoff run just to prove themselves. AD got something to prove. That man, he better.
Somehow, I don't think that the Lakers are trying to hang another in-season tournament banner. They ain't trying to get to the finals, and this one is not happening.
It happened with Tyronn Lue. Wasn't he a first-year coach when they went to the finals? Yep. And it happened with that David guy. I cannot remember his name for nothing, but it happened with that David guy who got fired. He used to draw up plays and LeBron would be like, absolutely not, then go on the floor and do something different. But he still took them as well. I mean, it's easy to coach LeBron.
You think?
Yeah. Absolutely, I think so. So I think JJ Reddick will fare well. I think he'll fare well. We'll see a nice run.
I think there's a play-in game in their future.
And he could coach those rookies. I think that having still a younger coach, he's still relatively young. He looks kind of like them and building for them. That he's not a 7-footer towering over them, telling them what to do. He's damn near their height. So it's like he's relatable. I think that he can get to the rookies too and build with them like they plan on it, because we know LeBron, AD, all the rest of them, they're leaving. So he has to be able to shape them for the future.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What seed you think the Lakers are coming in the West?
They're still going to fall 7-8, well, play in worthy. Still 7-8. They got a big mountain to climb. They do.
Somehow I don't think that the Lakers management is in the business of falling seventh in any conference.
Lakers haven't made really a deep play-in run or score high in a long time.
So how well does that bode for JJ Reddick's future?
I mean, again, he's hungry. So I think he'll make it. That's my prediction. He's hungry. That hunger will take him, like it took Tyronn Lue, like it taken Steve Kerr. Like, you just got good players you're going to have to work with. So, I mean, I think he has the youth to do it too. Thanks a lot, Al. So tell me what you guys think. You think the Celtics going all the way? You think the Lakers going to take the in-season tournament? And how well do you think JJ Reddick is going to do as a first-year coach with the Lakers? Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to Triple Threat.
Triple threat, shoot, dribble, pass, man, we cover ball like we in the net.